Hey guys, welcome to Jack's Business Talk, and today we are doing part three. Three. And if you wonder why me and Mikey are wearing the same clothes, it's because we don't change or believe in bathing. No, we shot these videos back to back to back. So,
That's a good thing about Zoom. We can't smell each other.
so in the part one, we talked about the pros of Pittsburgh. Part two, we talked about the cons. And if we didn't scare you away with the cons video, here is a few things you should think of before you invest in Pittsburgh, okay? And it's not really pros or cons, it's just stuff you need to think about in the long term. So so number one for me is population decline. It's not declining a whole ton, it's on a steady decline. It's just because of the fact that you have a lot of the people from the boomer generation. This area is filled with that generation. And I'm not saying it derogatively. I'm just saying it's that generation. Don't hate me. Don't be hitting dislike buttons because I said the word boomer. But I'm just saying it's that generation. And I can't say I blame them. I agree with them. They don't want to deal with the harsh winters and stuff. So they live in two places. Then they get tired of going up here. And they're like, well, we just have our family come down and, and they convince their family to come down. So that's why we have a little bit of steady decline, even though we have all this work and like we have all these companies growing and all this expansion going on, and we have a little bit of a steady decline because people are just leaving the area because they're sick and tired of the weather.
Mark Oshiro, financial firefighter, has mentioned this, is the transfer taxes.
Yeah.
You would want to consider that. That surprised me because when you factor in your closing costs, you hear Dion in his market, he's 3% closing cost, but it's a higher purchase price. For Pittsburgh and the lower purchase prices, just for lending wise, they have to make money as well. So when you factor in the transfer taxes, for my experience, I'm looking at not including taxes and insurance, paying that up front. You're looking at maybe 7,000 to 9,000 in closing costs. In my
Mhm. Um, you have to realize also, my number two is the aging infrastructure. So you're gonna be buying a lot of older homes and stuff. So you have to put aside more for repairs. Now you can buy places that have been all renovated and stuff, and most of the work is done. But just know that you're buying an older home.
and Mark has mentioned this about basements. Didn't know about
Hmm.
basements, and I'm still learning about that too. So consider that, especially for out-of-state investors. That's something you're gonna have to consider. And insurance does get pretty detailed. Some insurance companies where they're asking about when was the plumbing last updated, when was electrical updated, because knob and tube is pretty heavy in Pittsburgh.
Hmm.
When you get asked those questions, your quotes may change. So keep that in mind in terms of great point about the infrastructure and what you're looking at the older homes, anywhere from what the 1900s all the way up to the 1950s is what we usually see.
Yeah, anything from 18s to 1970s. I mean, there's a lot of newer houses being built and stuff. And I think that's why you see, you know, they're just building new houses because I think a lot of people are turned off by the fact that they have to stick maybe 50 to $80,000 into an old house that still looks like an older house on the outside when they can just build a new one and have basically the same payment after they're done with everything. So another con is just understand the fact that you're going to be in a more competitive market. More people are finding out about investing in Pittsburgh. So, you're going to be competing a little bit more with other investors.
And we've talked about this where we're all in different areas, but sometimes things overlap.
Hmm.
But we're all really good about, hey, if someone is interested, like we'll back off because there's always going to be more opportunities, and we're always trying to
Yeah.
work together. So when new people have reached out to us, we just try to tell them our experiences because I'm new. So I can only tell them the things I've went through and been through just to help protect them from making the same mistakes I have.
Yeah. And I like, I think I would like to end on this one, if it's okay. The Pittsburgh has done several gentrification processes, and some of them they've absolutely hit it out of the ballpark. And, they've really super turned it around. They've done a fantastic job. And there's other areas that they've been working on for 10, 20 years now, and it's still just like, oh my gosh, it still sucks. Like, you guys nailed it over here, and this area still sucks. So you have to pay attention to that too.
You taught me about the historic districts. That's something I didn't
Hmm.
realize on the Mexican streets.
Hmm.
So that's something I didn't realize, and that's something you have to consider if you do decide to go into there. Like some people make it work for their investment strategy, but in terms of the work needed, like it's if it's a historic district, all the special materials that you need just to do the work that is pertaining to the permits and that historic area. You taught me that, and that's something I keep in mind.
Yeah, yeah. For investors, we have to stay out of historic areas where you have to, like, a window gets smashed, you have to go buy a period correct window pane, and it just goes down the rabbit hole from there. But yeah, as investors, we can't be going and doing all of that.
And as I was looking on the MLS every day and I listened to a Pittsburgh podcast where they talked about Mount Oliver, and you look at the zoning map, there's a reason why Mount Oliver is black. Like that zoning color is black. And
What's black?
I don't know. That's the thing is I wanted to learn, but when I heard it on a Pittsburgh podcast, they said that zoning area is just the colors black. So they make it really hard for investors there, is what I
Yeah.
came to find out.
So with that, if you can put up with the pros, with the cons, and what we said in this one about a little bit of both, then you're more than welcome to join us in the magical world of Pittsburgh.
Please like, subscribe, and comment Jack's Business Talk. He has taught me everything I know, so I appreciate that, Jack.
You're certainly welcome. Thank you for tuning into this episode.
See ya.